how do you install the Zoom app? So no matter if you're working on a tablet, you're working on a smartphone, you'll go to either your App Store, if you're on an Apple device, Play Store, if you're on an Android device, and you'll download the free Zoom app. Now, I will tell you that as part of installing the Zoom app, and you'll be prompted, it's going to ask you to provide the Zoom app with access to your microphone, your camera, as well as your calendar. And these, definitely your microphone and your camera. Your calendar is optional, but if you want to be able to save your Zoom meetings on your iCalendar, you will need to provide access to your calendar to Zoom. And you can always update your settings by going into the Settings app, scrolling all the way down. And let me go ahead and, if you'll give me a minute here, this is my tablet. This is my iPad. I'm going to make it as large as I can. Let me just pop out of here for a moment. I wanted to just go to my settings. This is my settings app. If I tap on settings, if I scroll all the way, typically when you open up settings, you're here at the top. We need to scroll all the way down to the bottom, all the way, because Zoom starts with the letter Z. This is alphabetically. And you'll see here is my Zoom app. If I tap on that Zoom app, this is where it will say allow Zoom to access. And what you're going to do, let me turn on my annotate for a moment. Sorry about that. I should have had this turned on. You'll want to turn these little sliders, set it to on, move it to the right for maybe not so much context. It's up to you. Definitely your microphone and your camera, you'll need to turn these on to provide Zoom access to your camera, to your microphone. I turn my calendar on, and I also have my contacts available to me so that when I invite others to my Zoom meeting, they'll show up on my list of contacts. So this is how you'll do it in your settings. I'm just going to close my settings app, and let me tap on my Zoom app. It's on my dock over here. When you tap on, when you open up your Zoom app the first time after you've downloaded it, you come to a screen that looks like this, and it's going to ask you to sign in. So I'm going to tap sign in. I'm going to just go ahead and let's see, which one is this? Which one do I want? No, that's all right. I'm just going to sign in. Give me a second here. Sorry about that. All right, let's see if it'll let me sign in. And then we are good to go. I'm just going to say no. And this is what your Zoom app looks like. And so at this point, if we wanted to schedule a new Zoom meeting, we're just going to tap on our schedule icon, right as I've circled it here. So we'll tap on schedule. And by the way, Laverne, if you're working off of a laptop, you would just click on if you're working on the browser version, you'll just click on schedule a meeting or schedule. And for yeah, so I'll try to remember. What we'll do next is I'm going to scroll through. There's lots and lots of options here. I'm not going to go through every single option, but I will be sending in the after class notes. Let me make a quick reminder for myself. I'm going to be sending you a screenshot or a description of what all these different options are used for. So if we don't cover every single one, don't panic. You'll get a description of what it's used for. So first off, by default, it always puts, your name, Zoom meeting. Let's give this a title. Let's give our Zoom meeting a title. I'm just going to tap right in that field. It brings up my keyboard on my iPad, and we'll just say it's our Thursday. I hope I'm spelling correctly. Client meeting. I always type so much slower on my iPad. Okay. It's just going to be, maybe this is a client meeting, and I've just typed out the description, a good title. Next up, you'll see starts. And this is where we're going to put the start date and the start time for our meeting. So I'm simply going to tap anywhere here. And you'll notice that it has one of those little, looks like a greater than symbol. That tells you that there's a menu behind this option. So if I tap on the today at 12 p.m., this at the bottom over here, this acts, it's like a dial. Think about when you have a lock and it has one of those, it doesn't go with a key, it has a number or letters, and you take your finger and you kind of roll the different dials, the numbers. That's what this is. This is like a kind of like a dial. And I'm taking my finger, and each one of these is a separate dial. Again, think about when you have one of those locks and you need to set, your password. It works just like this. So I'm taking my finger where it says today, I'm literally just swiping up. And when I swipe up, it just scrolls through the days. You can just keep scrolling up. I can also swipe down. It takes me backwards through the days. And then I'm just going to leave it at today. Wherever you end up, if it was going to be Friday, July 1st, great. Again, hour, minutes. You're going to use your finger and simply scrolling up and down through the hours and the minutes. You are setting your start date and start time. This just takes a little bit of practice getting used to this. And then, is this going to be AM or PM? So this is how you're going to set the date as well as the time. And this is pretty common when you're working with apps on your mobile devices. You're going to, I'm sure you probably come across this type of a setting. When you've set your start date and time, you're going to tap done. And now we've set up our start date and time for our Zoom meeting.